Maëla of France for Europe here. There is Masai Russell. Her first meet since the Olympics, this for the 24-year-old American. She's Olympic champion. It was a bit of a surprise, that one. And 12:33. Well, she's a 12:25 athlete at her best. That was at the US Championships. There is Nadine Visser. Visser, who is such a tried and tested performer, one of the few Europeans that can mix it with the best of the Americans. Kendra Harrison, former Olympic champion, 6th in the American Olympic trials, didn't even make the team for Paris. She was 3rd in her heat. Danielle Williams, semi-finalist in the Olympics, won her heat in 12:37, a season's best. Ackera Nugent, another Jamaican, along with Williams, they were in 4 and 5. Nugent won her heat in 12:30, a meeting record a couple of hours ago. Silesia Johnson, well, 2nd in the American Olympic trials. She was 7th in the Olympic final, 12:46 in her heat here. Grace Stark goes in lane 7. 5th in the Olympic Games, 2nd in Lausanne, really consistent form. She ran 12:38 in Lausanne, then 12:42 in her heat here a couple of hours ago. Samba Maëla, Sarina Samba Maëla, the Olympic silver medalist. That was the only medal for the French in track and field athletics at the Paris Games. She goes in lane 8, and Tonya Marshall there on the outside in lane 9. Marshall, who was 5th at the US Olympic trials, and just checking actually, this is her first meeting since the Olympic trials. Tonya Marshall, the 25-year-old. But look out here in particular for Masai Russell. She'll have been frustrated to have been 5th in her heat. She got through as a non-automatic qualifier to this from the 2 heats. She was the slowest of all of them, as they say, Hannah, with 12:56. But she is a 12:25 athlete. She's the fastest in the world this year. She's Olympic champion, and she's on the far side to right of picture in lane 1. Visser in 2. Kendra Harrison goes in 3. Danielle Williams of Jamaica 4. Ackera Nugent 5. Johnson in 6 for the USA. Stark 7. Samba Maëla of France 8. Marshall, nearest the camera there, in lane 9. Little twitch there, I thought, from Nugent in lane 5, but they're away well. There's not a lot in it at the moment. Going really well, those Nugent in 5. She's gradually forging her way into the lead here. Nugent, if she can hold it together these last couple of flights, and she does, wins it by the best fat end of a metre there. 12:27. Oh my word. She's getting quicker. That is a new lifetime best. And 12:27. That puts her right up there in the top 10 all time. There's only a handful of women have gone quicker than that in history. I'm just looking for the wind reading on that one. And 12:27, the wind was up to 1.9 earlier on. Minus 0.5, wow. Turn that around, make it a little bit stronger. They don't want too strong a wind behind them though, because it blows them into the barriers and upsets their stride pattern. And actually, if you're very, very fast over the barriers and in between the barriers, then maybe a little bit of a headwind is a good thing. It sort of holds you back a little bit from messing up your stride pattern. But 12:37. I thought 12:27 came up initially.
I think Nugent maybe hasn't got a timing chip on, because they're showing Grace Stark as the winner, and she was 2nd. Yeah, I was just trying to.
Thought I was going mad.
I'm really impressed by Nugent. We watched the heats earlier on, which she looked great, so it's no surprise she's running fast. But after that heat, she limped off. She had to take her shoes off straight away. She looked in a lot of pain. I was doubting whether we'd even see the Jamaican back out here in the final, and she's proved me wrong. She's come back and run even faster. That is a wonderful race from Nugent against a high-quality field.
Well, Ackera Nugent then, a meeting record in her heat, and improves it in the final. It's confirmed 12:29, that meeting record. It is a fabulous display of consistent sprint hurdling from the Jamaican.
Ackera Nugent produced a breathtaking display in the women's 100-meter hurdles at the 2024 Silesia Diamond League, stamping her authority as one of Jamaica's brightest young stars in the event. Against a world-class field, she stormed to victory in 12.29 seconds, erasing the old meet record and sending a strong message to her rivals on the international stage. Lining up beside her was Olympic champion Masai Russell, who entered as the overwhelming favorite thanks to owning the fastest time of the year. Yet Russell faltered, scraping through the heats as a non-automatic qualifier and never quite finding her rhythm. The competition was stacked with proven hurdlers: Nadine Visser of the Netherlands, seasoned American Kendra Harrison, and Jamaica's reliable Danielle Williams, all adding depth and intrigue to the lineup. Once the gun fired, several athletes burst out evenly, but Nugent's acceleration and flawless technique soon carried her clear. Her rhythm between the barriers and precision over them were unmatched, and she powered to the finish well ahead of the pack. The clock initially read 12.27, later rounded to 12.29, a performance that ranks among the 10 fastest times ever recorded in women's sprint hurdles, a career-defining breakthrough. Perhaps even more striking than her time was the grit she showed. In the morning heats, Nugent had already dominated in 12.30 seconds but walked away gingerly, clearly in pain, even removing her shoes and limping off. For a moment, her participation in the final seemed doubtful. Yet she returned to the track hours later and delivered an even stronger run, proving her resilience and mental toughness under pressure. The final unfolded into a slight minus 0.5 meters per second headwind, conditions that can challenge hurdlers but occasionally aid their rhythm. Nugent adapted seamlessly, keeping her stride smooth, her form clean, and her closing speed decisive. Her poise in handling such variables showcased a tactical maturity rarely seen in athletes so young. Her triumph in Poland was particularly poignant after the heartbreak of Paris, where she failed to complete the Olympic final. This race became her moment of redemption, as she toppled Olympic-level opponents including silver medalist Irina Sombamayila, France's lone track medalist in Paris, and America's Alicia Johnson, who had placed 7th in that same race. At only 22 years old, Nugent is still at the dawn of her professional career, yet her rise has been rapid. With her mechanics, stride pattern, and reactions sharpening, she appears destined to push the boundaries of the event. Incremental improvements in these areas could soon propel her to even faster times, perhaps even into record-breaking territory, as she continues to refine her craft. Looking ahead to 2025, anticipation is building for what she can achieve on the global circuit. With the World Championships looming, Nugent has a golden opportunity to cement her place among the very best. If her current trajectory holds, she could not only capture world titles but also establish herself as a leading contender for Olympic glory in 2028. Her ability to absorb lessons, bounce back stronger, and adapt race by race sets her apart from her contemporaries. The Silesia meeting showcased the finest hurdlers in the world, yet Nugent's performance stood out as a defining highlight. Her composure under pressure, ability to deliver in decisive races, and growing global reputation make her a formidable force. Beyond the medals and records, she has already become a role model in Jamaica, embodying perseverance, courage, and belief in the pursuit of greatness.